Stefon Diggs, ACL, and it's been good news. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, as of Tuesday, he was cleared for full participation in training camp, which began today. So that's a significant step in his recovery from his Week 8 2024 season injury. So that's a week after Brandon. So just to go to show you, the different timetables you can have with this injury. Still, I would pump the brakes a little bit as we head into the preseason here. I don't think he's really going to be ready in full go until we get really close to week 1. So we'll probably see him doing some limited stuff and have his activity kind of monitored closely as he kind of ramps it back up early on here in spring preseason, I should say. And but I do anticipate he'll be ready week 1. The question is he going to be up to full speed yet? Probably not, but that should work itself out as we get into the beginning of the season here. So sounds like his injury was much more straightforward than Brandon Ayuk's, which is good news for Stefon Diggs.
Yeah, it plays a big difference when it's just your ACL and not everything else that goes with it. That's for sure. So I want to go back to Adam on this one because he got interrupted too, because the next player I want to talk to Chase. But so with that, Stefon Diggs, I mean, he was already practicing a little bit here, getting mixed in. But I want to get your opinion from this from the standpoint of we've been big Kyle Williams dynasty people that could potentially look at Kyle Williams like, yeah, you might have drafted him in the 3rd round in your rookie drafts, and there was a chance maybe that he'd be an outside shot to be number 1 receiver for this team year 1, depending upon what was going on with Diggs. So with Diggs looking good, what do you think about Kyle Williams and Diggs and all that for this season?
Diggs might be a threat for a year, but we're talking about a guy, I mean, to reference what Brian Scott said like maybe 15 minutes ago, like you talk about a guy who has this injury, has had other injuries, is already up there in age, and was like, this isn't a guy who it's like, oh, he's coming sky high and this is going to set off a decline. Like, we're already 2 years into him declining actively. Like, the trend is downwards before the injury. So this is someone that, like, best case, I think, okay, cool. A year out from your injury, you peak back to what you were last year, which was 80% of what you used to be. And then you continue to decline, which to me is like, okay, maybe you hold off Kyle Williams for a year as a veteran for Drake May. That's great. That could get him 1 year of value. But long term, would not be concerned about this in the slightest. And even towards the end of the season, I would pretty strongly feel like Kyle Williams should still be coming into his own. And even just some of the other younger receivers here, I was surprised that Diggs got the money and kind of the compensation that he did in general this offseason from the Patriots. I think it was just them really wanting to have a veteran presence for Drake May. And that part, I think, is largely what he's getting paid for, not necessarily what he's going to bring athletically. And besides all that, it's going to be tough because they have a lot of slot receivers, right? Like, that's it. Like, Pop Douglas, for some people, Kyle Williams should be lining up there. The UDFA that has a lot of hype, whose name I'm blanking on, but it's just going to be tough. I don't know. For some of the intermediate routes, and what I was going with that is the Stefon Diggs has largely gone down the field throughout most of his career. But as he gets older, that's typically the transition that players want to make is to the slot. And it's going to be really hard for the Patriots to do that.
No, it is. I mean, look, Josh McDaniels had to look at Stefon Diggs and say, hey, we're going to make you Wes Welker or Julian Edelman, and that's how I'm going to feature you. And so you will be, and that just screws over everybody else. But that's the only way I could see him being a guy I really want to draft right now. Because, I mean, look, it's hard for me. I don't want to root against a guy who has the same birthday I do. November 29th. We both have the same exact birthday. But he's going to turn 32 in the middle of the season with a knee injury. And a guy, to Adam's point, we've already seen start to decline. You have to be a little bit crazy to sit there and think, and right now, just so you guys know, Stefon Diggs is going in the back end of 8th round around the 92nd pick. There's no upside there. You're taking Diggs just to have a floor based on volume, not much more. This is not going to be a great offense, even if it's better than what we saw last season. It's still not going to be a great offense. I'm not saying that means Kyle Williams is set to pop off, but I think there's a better chance that Kyle Williams has more upside second half of the year, depending on how this pans out, than maybe Stefon Diggs does. And right now, redraft leagues, Kyle Williams is pretty much not going drafted, essentially, at this point. So something to kind of keep an eye on there. I still don't know if I even feel comfortable grabbing Stefon Diggs in the 8th round with all that, unless I really just need someone to plug and play the first few weeks of the season, because that's the only time I'm going to feel confident that he's going to actually just get the volume consistently enough to have a base floor.